Hey guys, thanks for checking out the Film Geek. Today I'm talking about the Dragonheart franchise. The Dragonheart franchise was something that I honestly did not even know existed until last year. Now, I've been aware of the first film for quite some time. I saw it in theaters back in 1996, but I honestly had no idea that they made any other Dragonheart films until last year. And as some of you might know, when I was doing one of my unboxing videos, I've ordered the Dragonheart 5-disc collection. Yeah! So I have all 5 of the Dragonheart movies now. So I decided, what else do I have better to do? So I binge watched all of the 5 of the films. Yep, I didn't really need to watch the first one again. I mean, I've seen it several times, but I really like that movie. So, and I wanted to have a whole continuity kind of thing. So I went ahead and watched all 5 films, kind of back to back, as much back to back as you could do with 5 films. And here's my review. Dragonheart 1996, the first of our films, is starring Dennis Quaid and Sean Connery. Dennis Quaid plays the Knight Bowen, and Sean Connery plays the Dragon Draco. So Dragonheart is the story of a dragon hunter and the friendship he makes with a dragon. Yeah, I know, he's a dragon hunter. But anyways, the whole thing is this dragon hunter and dragon become friends, and well, more business partners, in the fact that Draco is the last of the dragons. So if he kills this dragon, then everybody's out of work. So yeah, it's a pretty bad idea to kill the dragon, because then Bowen doesn't have a job. Now, that seems like a pretty simple story, right? Dragon meets boy, boy meets dragon, however you want to look at that. But there's more to it than that. You see, dragons in this universe, the Dragonheart universe, which I didn't ever think I was going to say. Anyways, the dragons in this can share a piece of their heart with a human, who grants the human a bit of powers and kind of quasi-immortality. You see, the way this heart sharing works is that if anybody kills the human, the dragon dies, and vice versa. So, as long as the dragon, which is pretty much immortal, is alive, the human being is alive. Make sense? So, what do I like about this movie? I'm going to start with the CGI. Now, I know a lot of you are going to watch this movie and you're going to say, Film Geek, I don't know what you're talking about. The CGI in this movie is god-awful. No, it's not. You got to remember, this is 1996. And these special effects are actually really, really good for the time period. I recall seeing this in theaters, just my mind being blown. And then later on down the road with the movie Jurassic Park, where they use the same type of techniques, kind of a blend between, puppeteering and CGI. Fun fact, they use a blend of CGI and puppets for the dragon, mostly just the gigantic head of the dragon. And in fact, it was Jim Henson Creature Shop that ended up doing the dragon. So yeah, I thought this movie was great back in 1996 when I saw it in the theaters, and I still love watching it today. 4 years later, unbeknownst to me, they ended up making a sequel called Dragonheart A New Beginning in 2000. Starring Christopher Masterson and Robbie Benson as the voice of Drake the Dragon. Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of Drakes, Draco, Draco, Dragody-doo-doo. What I'm trying to say is there's a theme. Now, this is the only movie in the series that's rated PG, so I honestly think that they were trying to make a kids movie out of this whole thing. The dragon is considerably younger, and it's literally just a story about humans teaching a dragon how to be a dragon. Yeah, soak that in for a little bit. Story about humans teaching a dragon how to be a dragon. This movie's bad. I really can't get over this was a severe drop in quality in film. The CGI in this movie is just terrible. And this is the year 2000. I'm not saying that the CGI of all movies in the year 2000 was amazing, but this one, holy crap. I mean, this looks like they just used Beast Wars and put it in this freaking movie. I'm trying to say the CGI is bad. It's bad. One last thing I'm going to say about this movie, and I really hate the fact that I'm beating this movie to death, but I mean, guys, I love a So Bad It's Good movie, and this movie isn't even that. A So Bad It's Good movie, it has heart, it has flair, there's a certain vibe to it. This movie was just bad. It was just there. It's like a film that exists for no good reason whatsoever. And one thing really bothered me in this whole thing was the voice acting, really. The voice acting for the dragon, Drake, is god-awful.
Excuse me.
and I do not understand that in the least. Because the voice actor playing him is a good voice actor. Robbie Benson is also better known as the voice of the Beast. That's right, Beauty and the Beast, the first animated film to ever be nominated for Best Picture, and my God, the voice acting is absolutely terrible in this movie. I mean, wow! The audio is bad. It literally, when people say stuff like phone in a performance, Robbie Benson does that both literally and figuratively. Okay, that brings us to Dragonheart 3, The Sorcerers Curse. Here on, the movies get good. They are still direct-to-DVD movies. The special effects are still direct-to-DVD special effects, but they do look a lot better. In fact, this movie's CGI is just leaps and bounds over the second film. Now, this movie did come out in 2015, so there was 15 years for special effects to improve. And one thing I thought was really crazy is the 15-year gap. I mean, really, what happened there? I mean, did all of a sudden Hollywood just went, you know what? 2015 is the year of Dragonheart. Get out there, boys, and make us some Dragonheart movies. The story is about a young knight who helps a dragon protect 9 dragon eggs. And also, too, that dragon has been placed under a curse by an evil sorcerer. And this curse does not allow him to come out during the day in full form. He's in like this really kind of cool ghost form. He can't really interact. He could talk to the main characters and all, but he can't really touch or interact with anybody. It's kind of a really cool concept. Now, this is where the franchise does something kind of unique, and I look at it as a cost saver. What they do is they use the main big name actor to just do the voice of the dragon. All the other parts are either very unknown character actors or young actors that could possibly be up and coming. Because honestly, the acting in these movies, it's not terrible. It's really not. It's average. It's nothing spectacular. It's what I would like to call sci-fi TV show level acting. Not sci-fi movie, sci-fi TV show. Check out something like The Magicians or Warehouse 13. You'll know what I'm talking about. So anyways, this young knight needs to protect the dragon eggs and help lift the curse of this dragon. And the cool thing is this dragon is voiced by none other than Ben Kingsley. Now, this movie also expands on the lore a little bit. One of the things that I mentioned was that if the person who possesses part of the dragon heart dies, the dragon dies. So that whole thing has been established. But in this film, it goes to another level because the dragon-hearted in this movie takes on a little bit of the dragon's powers. Not like a lot. Not like he's flying around or breathing fire, but he has enhanced strength. He can, he could move faster, he's a better swordsman. It's basically like his abilities and strength and all are just kind of increased a little bit. So it's really cool that they expand on the lore and they kind of connect everything to the original. Now, okay, one thing I forgot to mention, of course, was that I did say in the first movie, The Last Dragon, right? I'm pretty sure somebody might have remembered that because I left open a big plot hole. Anyways, in the second film, they don't even really explain it. They're just like, boy, I sure wish there were dragons again. Hey, look at that! There's an egg! How did the male dragon leave an egg? I don't know! Alright, so that was literally how it worked. It was just there. This movie doesn't really go into a lot more, but whatever. It's just a made-for-DVD movie. Stop thinking about it and just enjoy it. So this movie starts a trend that you see in the next couple of films, and that is the big-name actor playing the role of the dragon, and then all of the other supporting roles played by lesser-known actors and a lot of younger faces. Now, I'm kind of neutral on this movie. It wasn't that the movie was bad. I mean, the movie is enjoyable. It's a confidently made film. My only problem really with it was kind of forgettable. Like the movie it was really difficult to keep my attention the entire time. I found myself wandering into the kitchen, looking for something to eat, and coming back down and rewinding it, and then picking up my phone and flipping through my phone and rewinding it. I mean, it really took me a long time to watch this movie. It was the third Dragonheart movie that I watched in a day, and I mean, like I said, the second movie was really bad, so that could have led to it. But to be perfectly honest, not that this movie was bad, but it really was the most forgettable of all of the 5 films. And see, that's the weird thing, because I'm not saying it's bad, it was just forgettable, because the second movie is god-awful, and that's why you can remember it, because you're like, I actually witnessed that. Now we come to Dragon Age number 4, Battle for the Heartfire. In this movie, the dragon Drago is played by Patrick Stewart. I spent the entire movie just wanting to hear him say, engage. Okay, so in this movie, the dragon Drago tries to stop a sibling rivalry that really is not the best for the kingdom because they're fighting over the throne. So a brother and sister find out that their father was actually the son of the king, and one of them is in line for the throne, and so they both kind of battle it out. This movie also expands on the lore. In this movie, the dragons still share a heart, but that can be transferred through generations. And by the time they get to the grandchildren of the king, they have developed their own powers without actually even doing the heart transfer ceremony. The brother has enhanced strength and a little bit of speed, and then the sister, she has the power of flame control. Now, she cannot produce a flame, but if there's any open flames around, she can use them as weapons. Kind of like the mutant Pyro. One of the things that makes this movie a bit different than all of the other Dragonheart films is this one really focuses on the humans a lot more. The relationship between the sister and the brother is really the true story, and then the dragon, he kind of works more as like a wise old overseer who's just trying to lead the two of them down the right path. All in all, at the end of the day, this movie is just a fun and enjoyable film. That brings us to the 5th and final film in the Dragonheart series, and that is Dragonheart Vengeance, which came out in 2020. This movie, of course, like all of the sequels, a direct-to-DVD film, and it is starring Helena Bonham Carter as the voice of the dragon. Now, our dragon in this film is very different. Not only is it the first female dragon in the series, but she's also an ice dragon. Also, too, one of the powers that the dragons do possess is a power of polymorph or shape-shifting. The male dragons, however, can turn into rocks, where female dragons can actually turn into different animals. Not human beings, but different animals. The story of Dragon Age Vengeance is about a young farmer whose family is killed by a group of marauders for just no good reason. This young man then seeks out the help of a dragon to try to seek revenge on the people who killed his family. Alright, well, first off, I just want to get it out of the way, and this is my favorite of all the sequels so far. And I say so far because, well, I'll get to that. Anyways, I really liked this movie. Even with it being, as I keep saying, a direct-to-DVD film, it doesn't have the world's best special effects. Honestly, the dragon in this film doesn't look as good as the 4th movie, but I like her so much as the voice of the dragon that I don't even care. I don't care that the dragon doesn't look as good as it did in other movies. It doesn't look as bad as number 2, but it doesn't look as good as the other sequels. So what? This one actually probably has the strongest story, the best acting, the best cast. I mean, really, this movie is not bad at all. One of the things I really enjoyed with this movie was the chemistry between the actors. Even with Helena Bonham Carter just being the voice of a dragon and not even being on set, somehow the three of them still mingled together, and honestly, I thought it was great. The film goes on to even expand the lore even more, going back to the 3rd movie actually, and explaining where the dragons came from. You see, her and Patrick Stewart dragon from 4 are actually those eggs that I talked about in the 3rd movie. So when the eggs hatch and the dragons mature, they go out to find their own lands to try to help out the people that are there. One last thing about this movie too is that it actually is, in my opinion, the most violent of all the films and the bloodiest. It doesn't have an R rating, but this movie does have a lot of violence. There's a guy who gets his arm cut off. There's a lot of blood in this movie. I mean, not like blood like shooting everywhere, but it's like blood running down faces and stuff like that. It's a very PG-13 horror movie kind of violence. All in all, this is a really good film, and it is definitely my favorite in the series. Alright guys, so at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that this is a franchise that's pretty solid. Unlike a lot of straight-to-DVD kind of sequels, this one does a pretty good job, even though 2 is extremely bad. The rest of the films really make up for that. So all in all, what do I have to say about it? You know what? If you like the first movie, I say go out and buy the collection. And the reason I say buy the collection is I bought that off Amazon for like $7.99. There's 5 movies on there. So even with 2 being absolutely terrible, I mean, $7.99 is a pretty good deal. So at the end of the day, guys, I really enjoyed this franchise. I was not expecting it. Yes, like I said, 2 is awful. Just skip over it. It doesn't add anything to the story whatsoever. You don't need the movie there. Literally, it does not need to exist whatsoever. They make callbacks to the previous films, but none of the movies make a callback to the second movie. So there you go. Now, do I think that this movie is the end of the Dragon Age franchise? Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, in the film, they even talk about the fact that there were 7 eggs. So, there's still 5 more movies that could be made. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of another Film Geek video. Thanks again for checking me out. If you liked what you saw here today, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, ring that bell for notifications so you know when I put another one of these Film Geek videos up. Now, as I like to say, folks, keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.